Hey, I'm Melissa, aka Red Shirt, and today is my solo Survivor Series rant because we all know it was bullshit. So I'm gonna do matches that were relevant because if I don't remember them, they weren't relevant to me. So if I'm forgetting any and you have an opinion and you like to express on it, leave a comment below after you watch the video because I probably don't remember all of them. The only ones that really I cared about were the ones that were like, no. Okay, so first off, there was Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens for a spot in the main event, which I thought was a very interesting match to watch, even though it was Kevin Owens, and I'm not really that much into Kevin Owens, but I'm a huge Dean Ambrose fan, so I'm probably very biased because I thought that was one of the better matches of the night because I loved Dean Ambrose and just watching Dean Ambrose fight because he's always been interesting to me ever since his Shield days. Through his stable persona, he's always just been like, yes. But that was a very interesting match to me to watch. Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens, and I like now that I think they're setting Dean Ambrose to take the Intercontinental Championship off of Kevin Owens. So that makes me a little bit more okay with what happened later in the night with Dean Ambrose not winning the World Heavyweight Championship over Roman Reigns. But we will get to that discussion about that match later. Next up is Roman Reigns versus Alberto Del Rio for the other slot in the main event for the WWE World Heavyweight title, which I thought was an okay match overall. I really wasn't that entertained by it. I was just kind of like, Roman Reigns win and get to the finale, get to the main event. But it was okay for what it was, but I wasn't really that into that one. It was okay. The other match I enjoyed was Paige versus Charlotte. I thought that was cool. I don't really like the fact that I didn't really like the promo they had with contract signing the Monday Night Raw beforehand, but for what it was good. I feel like the Divas might be getting better opportunities in the future. I really hope they do because I feel like they deserve it just as much as the guys, but if they don't, that's just sad. Although I do feel like it's partially on the Divas because some of them are not very entertaining. Some of them aren't as well trained, such as Eva Marie or the Bellas, and that makes us go, well, we're not going to get a decent match either other way, so this might as well be our 2-minute bathroom break, because that's what a lot of the Bellas matches have been over the years for me. I understand that they're trying to get better now, but it's like, I'm of the opinion it's been 8 years. You should have been working long before this to try to get better and improve. The other match I really enjoyed was the Wyatt, which was Bray Wyatt chose Luke Harper and himself to go against Taker and Kane. I thought that was really cool. That was a really good way to kind of accumulate Undertaker's 25-year career in the business, which had started at Survivor Series when he was introduced by Ted DiBiase as the mystery partner of DiBiase's team. When I was younger, I was kind of afraid of The Undertaker, but over the years, I've gained a lot of respect for him. And I hope whenever he's ready to retire and be done, that he deserves a good, long retirement for all he's put himself through over that 25-year period. I respect The Undertaker almost as I do a lot of the ones who have been there a lot longer, like Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair. He's up in there with them, and it makes me so proud that I I think I started watching wrestling again because I had been banned from it. I think it was 2006, somewhere up in there. Yeah, I think it was 2006, around in there. 2006, 2007, and The Undertaker was around a lot more than he was. And I used to really not like him, and I preferred Edge over him. But I have gained so much respect for The Undertaker because I really didn't know who he was, what he represented. But whenever I got older and understood him and started to like his character more and more, I thought he was just the greatest thing ever, and he is the greatest thing ever to me at this point. So this video is a shout out to the Undertaker for his 25 years in the business, WWE in the business. And finally, we have Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I will never be used to it not being two different titles. I am so sorry, but I was in the era where it was two big titles in the business that both count as a world championship. So it is still very hard for me to accept them as one. It's very hard. But as we all know at this point, Seth Rollins was injured and tore his ACL, leaving the WWE World Heavyweight Championship vacated. So there was a tournament over a couple weeks to determine who was going to be champion. I honestly believe that as Roman Reigns is the number 1 contender, they should have had a battle royal. They should have done some at Survivor Series. They could have had Roman in the top slot, and then the other side was a competition. I honestly don't believe he should have fought to fall up, because he'd already fought himself into the number 1 contender slot. And I'm also very sad that we got cheated out of Rollins versus Reigns again. But it is what it is. Now, I was very excited for this match because Dean had been screwed over a couple of times, because Dean almost had the contract before Seth won it, which I felt like was BS. And then Dean almost won it at Money in the Bank, which was stupid. And Dean before Money in the Bank, Seth got disqualified, even though Dean had already pinned him 1, 2, 3, which is another reason I don't exactly agree with the no disqualification, no countouts. You'll win it if you're champion. Also, I don't agree with the decision to turn it into Dean Ambrose won by disqualification, because he hit the 1, 2, 3 before the referee even bothered to talk to the other referee who'd been knocked out. I believe that since the referee wasn't out there to see it, it didn't happen, and it should not have affected the pin decision. But that's just my honest opinion. And then Roman Reigns made it all the way to WrestleMania and against Brock Lesnar, got screwed over when Seth Rollins cashed in. Then he got screwed over at Money in the Bank when he should have been able to pull, when he almost had the briefcase, and Bray Wyatt knocks him off. And then he got screwed over again at the end of Survivor Series this year, when they basically Daniel Bryan'd him because he won the title over Dean Ambrose, which was a really amazing match. Although it made me upset because I felt like they had Roman Reigns carry a lot of the match, which I thought was like, no, they should have had it a more equal, more exciting match, simply because this is two best friends competing for the main title in the business. This should have been both of them going at it, giving their all. It should not have been, hey, we're going to have Roman Reigns look like an absolute powerhouse over Dean Ambrose so we all know who's going to win. It should have been neck and neck the whole way through, and I felt like they had Roman Reigns just like beating the crap out of Dean Ambrose, and I didn't think that was a good way to top off this tournament, which had been so great up to that point. And then, after Roman Reigns wins the title, power goes off, confetti, everything. It's a giant celebration. I felt it was really cool. And I was really excited, because ever since the break of the show, my top 2 have been Reigns and Ambrose. They're so cool. They're brothers. I shipped them together so hard. Accepted. And then, here comes Triple H to congratulate Roman Reigns, which is a liar. Congratulate. And then after Roman Reigns spears him, turn around, Sheamus, brogue kick, cash in the contract, and basically Daniel Bryan's Roman Reigns, which was what happened at SummerSlam 2003, with replace Sheamus with Randy Orton and Roman Reigns with Daniel Bryan. You basically get the same idea. And I'm just over here like, what? Apparently, this is according to some of the wrestling sites, it was because of the fan reaction to Roman Reigns. I'm like, I don't care how the other fans react to Roman Reigns. It's actually a lot of the people who can't afford to go to wrestling, they're trying to call Roman Reigns Cena 2.0. And I don't believe that. I believe that Roman's his own Reigns' his own person. But I also believe that if they had actually repackaged him like they did with Rollins and Ambrose, he'd get bigger pops. He'd be more popular. But no, they just left him as the guy who used to be in the Shield. I think if they took him out for a few months, gave him a whole new character, whole new outfit, whole new music, he could come back and be one of the top guys that people like. But he's not, because he's just that guy who was in the Shield. He doesn't even have his own original catchphrase. Believe in the Shield. Believe that. But I also feel like after they each had 3 screw-overs completely, either of them deserve to get the title and hold it for at least a good couple months and have a decent reign. I don't think that a 5-minute reign is what Roman Reigns deserved, and neither did Dean Ambrose. And honestly, that was a bullshit move. Completely bullshit. But this is my opinion on Survivor Series. If you're a WWE fan and you're watching this and you have your own opinion about what went down at Survivor Series, leave a comment below. Also, comment something that you believe is more entertaining than Sheamus as champion. My personal opinion of what would be more entertaining than Sheamus as champion: a potato. Alright, this is Red Shirt signing off. Laters.